Travel on Today, brought to you by Visit New Jersey.
Welcome back to the show. Now, with Thanksgiving only a week away, we're taking a trip across the Atlantic.
Yeah, we are heading to New Jersey, and here to tell us all we have Michelle Jackson. Just Michelle, hello. I've been there so many times. It's a great place to go.
You're the expert. You should
Well,
be sitting. But it's a great place to get to from Ireland because it's so well serviced with direct flights. You've got Aer Lingus and United flying direct to the north to Newark Airport, which is just across the way. Some people use it to go to New York City, and then in the south you've got American Airlines and Aer Lingus flying into Philadelphia, which is really accessible
just over
too.
the border from New Jersey.
But the great things with United, you've got flights from Shannon, so people that want to go direct to New Jersey.
Yeah, and there's lots to see there as well, isn't there?
Oh, God, there's so much to do. I mean, shopping is a great incentive to go to New Jersey because it's one of the few states that doesn't have any tax.
Yeah.
Yes, my eyes lit up when I read that.
Well, you know the way when you go shopping and you find a lovely bargain, you think, oh, this is great. You go up to the till and suddenly there's like 15%, 20% added. And you go, oh, that's not such a bargain anymore. Well, in New Jersey, there's no tax on shoes and clothing. So what you see on the tag is what you pay.
The only one warning I will give, right, if you're up North Jersey, in certain counties on a Sunday, the shops are closed. So that's only in certain few counties up the north of the state. So check that out wherever you are on a Sunday.
Do your shopping earlier in the week.
Yeah.
And they have some great malls there. I mean, America's famous for malls. There's a particular one that's kind of out of this world.
Yeah, that's the American dream. And this is 3 million square feet of mall, and it was 20 years it took to build. And it's fantastic because it's not just a shopping mall, it's also a theme park. It's one of the biggest indoor water theme parks in the world. That's the DreamWorks water park, it's called. And for little ones, the Nickelodeon Universe theme park is fantastic. There's an observation wheel and ice skating. Also, do you know they have an indoor piste as well, so you can have a little bit of skiing
from the outside.
well. Yeah.
And the big football stadium is right next door to as well, where the New York Giants and the Jets play.
Fantastic, yeah. I mean, kids would just love this. It's something, especially kids who love SpongeBob SquarePants and all those other characters.
Yeah.
You know.
It's hard to believe that this is an indoor mall when you see all those rides there and everything.
And you've got all your big shops. You've got your Saks Fifth Avenue, your big Levi's store, your designers like your Armani Exchange, and there's also a Sea Life Aquarium, which is very popular. And the food hall is enormous, and you could be busy trying different things out there for days.
Yeah. But you definitely need to put at least one day aside for that, Michelle.
Yes, a full day. Absolutely, especially if you're going to go and use, the slides in the water park or, and make the most.
And then I almost think that's a holiday in itself. Yeah. But outside of that, what else would be good to do?
Well, the famous Jersey shoreline is extensively beautiful. From the top in Sandy Hook, it reaches all the way down to Cape May, and you've got Liberty State Park looking out over New York City, of course, and then it follows 130 miles all the way through beautiful places like the Wildwoods. You've got Stone Harbour. The Delaware Gap is just stunning for outdoor activities, for your kayaking, your hiking. Really, really beautiful things to see. The sand on the beaches is so clean. They have a great history of glass making and old bottle factories. And some of them have been turned into breweries and that now. But because the sand is so pure and so good, and of course it's where the boardwalk originated.
It certainly is. I'd like to say it's nice to mention because when people talk about the Jersey Shore, they always talk about, I suppose, the beaches and the sand. But as you mentioned, there are loads of other things to do as well away from the beach.
Absolutely natural beauty inside. Like there we saw people hot air ballooning, and kayaking and making the most of the beautiful environment. And of course, on the shore is Asbury Park, which I believe you've
We filmed there years and years and years ago, and we were inside the Stone Pony. I think we can see a picture of it here now as well. And I think it's where the E Street Band got together for the very, very first time. And we met a guy there. I can't remember his name, but he played before the E Street Band. There was a band called Steel Mill, I think, and he played in both. And the day we were in there, even though there was nobody there, you could actually just feel it was a real place to go for music.
It's iconic because it is where Bruce Springsteen started. Bon Jovi started there, and lots of stars come back there, like Puff Daddy and the Black Crowes played last year. They've over 200 events, so it would be great to see a show there and really soak up that.
Yeah, it's right on the beach as well. Very, very handy there on the beach as well.
So there's good nightlife there, and then Atlantic City, is that kind of like a little bit like a watered down version of Vegas?
It is actually. Atlantic City is fabulous, but I'd say Cape May, if you were to go, I would go to Cape May first if you wanted just a relaxation beach holiday, because this is the original first seaside town in
Yeah.
the 1700s, and all, presidents like Franklin Pierce and Ulysses Grant, they all stayed there in the famous Congress Hall Hotel because there's beautiful Victorian architecture.
Yeah.
And you've got the fabulous Cape May Lighthouse, which is a must-see.
Yeah.
And there's the beautiful hotel. They played croquet on the lawn, and you know, it's full of tradition and history.
When you look back at movies and TV shows of, say, America down through the years, that it's kind of picturesque like that, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty, and
Looks
you'll
very
see
pretty.
horses and carriages, and you saw the fabulous Revolution rail bike trail, which is a fabulous thing now. You can sit down and you go along the old railway line and you propel yourself in like a little bike, and that's a lovely.
I thought I knew a lot about
extra
New Jersey.
attraction.
I don't know half the stuff at all, Michelle, to be honest with you.
It's a good excuse to go back to see
we'll
Rita's
have to,
family.
like,
yeah.
This is something else you see. You can go and see. They have a lovely winery too as well down there in Cape May. But of course, you mentioned Atlantic City, Nuala, and that is iconic because, as you say, it's like Las Vegas with manners. You've got this beautiful coastline you're looking out on the water, but you've got those amazing hotels with spas and golf and all sorts of other activities now. Fantastic entertainment at night, and you know they are priding themselves on the extra elements, not just the casinos anymore. It's all the other things you can do, and dining is especially good there in Atlantic
Yeah,
City.
there's loads of great concerts as well down there. I think Rita and her mum went to see Rod Stewart and Cyndi Lauper. So myself, Rita's dad and the young fella were sent off down the boardwalk for the evening as well. So we had a great time as well.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like people think of Atlantic City, they talk about it in Vegas style with all the casinos. No, that's all there as well. But there is so much to do
So
down
much to
there.
do,
Yeah.
and you can continue your shopping and enjoying it. But your food, I have to just mention food, because of course one of the most famous New Jersey people is Anthony Bourdain, the chef, and they've actually paid homage to him in Visit New Jersey with a 10-stop food trail, stopping off in places that he loved, like the famous Biltmore Grill, Tony's Biltmore Grill, and these are places where you get the iconic foods such as the hoagies and the Italian dogs and the pork rolls, and of course amazing food in Doc's Oyster House, which is where they have the best seafood you could imagine, oysters, lobster, and you know the way he speaks so passionately about it, you know, it's because this is where he was from. And I have to mention the Knife and Fork restaurant, because they have kind of redecorated it back in the pre-Prohibition style of the 1920s, and it was one of the most famous restaurants at that time. You know, you'd hide your little bottle under there. Yeah.
You don't have to hide the bottle anymore.
Not anymore. But you know, Anthony Bourdain, you know, visited there quite frequently and spoke about it so fondly. So you get all those traditional things. Saltwater taffy. I mean, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because I remember in Sex and the City, the girls all went to Atlantic City on a trip one time, and they were with the saltwater taffy, which is kind of synonymous with it.
Yeah. For me, it's the Ma and Pa stores, you know, the restaurants. They're not part of the big chains or anything. They're these restaurants that have been there for maybe 2 or 3 different generations, just like Tony's place there. And you know what? There's just homeliness inside there, and it would remind you of Ireland a good few years ago as well.
More authentic, I suppose.
Yeah, because I said we don't associate, I suppose, places like, say, New Jersey, like with community, but the small communities within towns like that, it's really, really strong.
Like this was the Curracloe or the Tramore, you know, for people. This is where New Yorkers came on their holidays. They'd go out on that beautiful coastline. Just saw the images there.
Yeah.
How stunning.
And the thing about New Jersey is that it's so easy to get around the whole state. Like I said, there's trains and buses. Like say, you're not hanging around at all. These people move, and there's trains and buses coming every half an hour. It's great.
Dahi should become a tour guide for New Jersey.
Funnily enough, when I go to New Jersey, sometimes I might even leave the town Rita's from. And other times we could go around the whole state as well. So it just depends what's happening. It's
well,
crazy.
there's plenty to do.
Loads and loads to do.
Yeah,
Actually,
by the sounds of it,
I only do about
sounds
half
fabulous.
that now, Michelle. So thanks very much for educating us.
Are you
Great to
busy
see you,
next
Michelle.
We're
time?
busy. Yeah, thanks.
More on the list.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle.
Travel on Today, brought to you by Visit New Jersey.